Caufield, rule changes, Ovechkin and Gretzky, the Subban trade, and more. Habs NHL News and Notes for June 24th, 2019. I'll tell you about my thoughts on Caufield, tell you about the new rule changes, a question about Ovechkin and his run at Gretzky's goal record, and the Subban trade, and more. And that's all right here at Talking Habs with me, Rick, the #1 Habs channel dedicated to the Habs and all things hockey. And don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, somewhere around me, somewhere, and leave any comments in the section below. And that definitely down there. Okay, so will Alex Ovechkin catch Wayne Gretzky's goal scoring record? It's just a question I saw on Twitter, and I thought I'd check into it, and I'm going to add it into here. He needs 236 goals to tie Gretzky. He'll be 34 at the start of next season, and it's going to be tough. If he plays into his 40s, then yes, I think he's going to break the record. I think he could do it, but will he play that long? That's the question. In 14 seasons, he's scored 658 goals, averaging, it's a funny number, at 47 per season. If he continues that average for 5 more seasons, okay, here's the reason why I think it's funny. I was thinking he needs 236 goals, broke it down into, he scores around 50 goals a season. How many would he need? It came out to 47 goals, plus 1 more. And then I looked at his average for the last, for his whole career, and he averages 47, which is kind of funny that he kind of needs to score, right? And the other funny coincidence is, that in the last 5 seasons he's produced 236 goals, exactly what he needs to tie. So can he reproduce that? That's the thing. So if he scored 47 for the next 5 seasons, like I said, he'd be 1 short, 2 to break. At that point, he'd be finishing the season. He'd be almost 39, so he'd be in his 38th year, and he'd have to go, I imagine, without any major injuries. So like I said, his last 5 seasons produced 236 goals, but can he reproduce that? So I say no. I don't think in the next 5 years he can reproduce 236 goals. So I say he has to play 6 more seasons to break it. I think if Alex Ovechkin plays into his 39th year, he could break the record. That's my opinion on it. Out of the blue, that popped up. The Predators' p.k.subban trade was purely a salary dump. That's obvious. But I'm curious as to why they couldn't do better than they did. I know they didn't want to take on any new salary, I get that. But I still think they could have done better. Steve Santini, 24 years old, 6'2", 205 pounds, 42nd overall in 2013. Career numbers, 5 goals, 16 assists, 21 points, and 114 games. Jeremy Davies, 22 years old, 5'11", 188 pounds, 7th round in 2016. He's playing in the NCAA, but apparently he's an up-and-comer, possibly could make the team. Okay, they got a 2nd round pick in 2019, they just took, and a 2nd round pick in 2020. It strikes me they could have got more, but from what I'm hearing, New Jersey was the only team willing to take on the full contract, full $9 million for PK. All the other teams wanted Nashville to hold back some of that money. Toronto wanted only to pay $6 million and wanted Nashville to hold back $3 million. So I imagine that's the reason, or there might be something else we haven't heard about, but I imagine that must be the reason, that New Jersey was the only team willing to take on the full brunt of that contract. NHL rule changes. There's some new rule changes that were announced Thursday. So I'm going to read from an article that I found about it, and I'm going to just read the parts about the changes. If the rule changes the NHL implemented today, which is Thursday, had been in place 2 months ago, it may have changed the entire complexion of the playoffs. First, the Vegas Golden Knights would have almost certainly been in the 2nd round of the postseason, and the San Jose Sharks would have been out, which would have meant they wouldn't have had the chance to win a game in Western Conference Final on a hand pass. Who knows how things would have turned out? Perhaps Vegas would have made another miracle run to the Stanley Cup Final, or not. The NHL can't change the past, but it did take a serious attempt at ensuring it gets controversial calls right without slowing games to a crawl and creating a constant stream of video reviews that would have sucked the energy out of games. All most people wanted was that the egregiously missed or misinterpreted calls be reviewed, and that is what the league did with the rule changes that were endorsed by the GMs Thursday in Vancouver. These changes in no way will eliminate controversies because they will still be instances where egregious foul will happen 5 feet from an official, 5 feet in front of a referee without being called. It will only reduce these incidences. The biggest change is the expansion of the coach's challenge for goal calls on the ice that follow plays in the offensive zone that should have resulted in a play stoppage but did not. When the Sharks' Timo Meier used his hand to bat the puck to Gustav Nyquist, who then passed it to Erik Karlsson for the overtime winning goal in Game 3 of the Western Conference Final, the play where Bettman said he thought his head was going to explode, the 4 officials who missed the hand pass were powerless to review it. That won't happen anymore. And in Game 4 of the second round of the playoffs, when the Columbus Blue Jackets scored after the puck hit the netting behind the Boston Bruins net, that one would have been called back too. Now coaches can ask for challenges on these plays, as well as offside and interference on the goaltender, as often as they want. But unsuccessful challenges will be penalized with a minor penalty for the first one and a double minor for all subsequent challenges. The other major change is that now referees are required to do a review of every non-fighting major they assess. If they discover a major was not warranted, the penalty becomes a double minor. When Cody Eakin wiped out Joe Pavelski in Game 7 of the first round, he received a major penalty, and the Sharks responded by scoring 4 power play goals. Had that same incident occurred now, Eakin would have received a double minor, and there's a good chance the Sharks would have scored, of course, only a maximum of 2 goals, not 4. Not a good chance. That's the maximum they could have on a double minor, 1 for each of the minors. Other intriguing changes, including one which involves a player having to either replace his helmet or go back to the bench when it comes off. So the Torrey Krug helmetless hit on David Perron in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final won't happen again, hopefully. There are a couple that should promote offense as well. Following an icing at the start of a power play, the attacking team can choose which dot to take the face-off, which will allow teams to send out their best face-off man on his strong side. When a team puts the puck out of play in the attacking zone, the face-off will be made at an inside dot, not the outside one. And if a goalie freezes the puck on a dump-in that comes from the other side of the red line, the defending team will not be allowed a line change. So those are the rule changes that were announced last Thursday. Okay, so some Habs notes and some thoughts on Caufield. Weber has 7 years left. Speaking of big contracts before, 7 years left at a $7.8 million cap hit, but has only $24 million of real money left to be paid out on that contract. And that could make for an interesting deal if you need to dump cap space at the last few years of the deal, because there won't be a lot to pay him at the end of his contract. He doesn't have a lot of money left owing to him, but the cap hit is still 7.8. So a team that can handle the cap hit can take the contract, and they don't have to pay him very much. You can make a deal to give you some cap relief. And at that point, I mean, face it, Weber will be closing in on 40. If you have to move him for cap relief, it's fine. Now, some thoughts on Cole Caufield. He brings a cocky confidence that Domi and Gallagher bring to the ice as well, but it's been missing here for a long time in such abundance. Another reason not to get Duchesne, who is a shoot-first guy. You want a good distributor type of center to feed him the puck. KK, Paling, and Suzuki all fit the bill, and Deneau ain't bad at that either. And all 4 of those guys have one thing in common: they're a little more responsible defensively to make up for his perceived lack of defense. So you want a defensively responsible center who can feed him the puck, not one who wants to shoot first. That's my opinion. Legitimately the first hope for a 50-goal scorer in a long, long time from a draft day pick. would certainly make a huge impact on the first power play unit and turn it from crap into holy crap, did you see that? We've had some great small players like Henri Richard, Mats Naslund, Saku Koivu. His size won't hold this kid back. He models himself around Alex DeBrincat of Chicago, has full confidence in his abilities, and seems super focused on what his strengths are. Offense. Yeah, that's what his strengths are, and he knows it. Okay, so from what I've read about him, he's not a Phil Kessel type. And he won't hurt you with his lack of defense because he's capable defensively. He's not his strength, but he's capable defensively. He throws the body around and everything, and he shows up every night. Kessel doesn't. He's going to the University of Wisconsin next year, but I get the feeling from something he said, not something Bergevin said, but something he said, that could change. If he thinks he's going to make the team this year, I think that might change. He had that glint in his eye and a smile when asked about it. He's had more goals in the U.S. TDP than Matthews or Kessel had in their time there. He broke Kessel's U18 tournament record of 10 goals with 14 of his own. He has been a top scorer at every level, and no reason to think that will change in the NHL. He's scored everywhere he's played, all through his career, through his whenever. I don't think that's going to change. A magician with the puck on his blade. His stick handling is one of his strongest abilities. It's elite level. You can't teach what he brings to the table offensively. But you can teach him to be better on the back end. You can teach him a little defense. You can't teach what he does. You can't teach it. Just can't. With a finisher of Caufield's quality, you are a better team all around. Goals go up, power play goals increase, and wins come a little bit more often. The wins that got away last season might have turned out differently with Caufield in the lineup. So those few wins where we're wondering, can we get them and make the playoffs? This kid can deliver those few wins with the power play goals and just the goals he's going to score. There's talk about what number should he wear. He should wear number 57 for his height, 5'7", or number 72 for the amount of goals he scored last year in the US NDTTP, whatever that is. So can't say that. I heard something on Twitter that he wants to wear number 69. Got a sense of humor, the kid, anyway. So anyway, I think he should wear number 72, actually. I like 72 for him. Okay, and also now, current NHLers that are 5'9" and under. Johnny Gaudreau, Alex DeBrincat, Brad Marchand, Torrey Krug. I don't know if this is Tyler Johnson or Johnson from, I think, from Toronto, but Johnson. I didn't see the name. Marchessault, is it Alex? I can't remember. Jonathan Marchessault. I had him in my pool last year. Jonathan Marchessault. Arvidsson. I'm not sure his first name. Brendan Gallagher. I know his name. Cam Atkinson. And Yanni Gourde. Former NHLers that were small. Marty St. Louis, the aforementioned Henri Richard, who was 5'7", Mats Naslund, Saku Koivu, although Koivu I think was listed at 5'10", but I believe he was 5'9", and Cliff Ronning of Vancouver of the day. All good players. Caufield will do just fine in this league at his size. Mark my words. If I have to, I'll eat those words, but I don't think I will have to. And I think that's it for this. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget now, every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Come join us at the Hockey Talk live stream. Every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, my Hockey Talk live stream will be on all through the summer until the season starts. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. That'll notify you of all my videos as they come out. And I give that information. I bet you nobody's still watching this video. Check out these two videos here on the side. I'm going to put up a couple of things, and I think that will be it. Have a Bleu Blanc Rouge day from me, Rick, at Talking Habs. Go Habs, go! Bye, y'all.